So we are all, despite our differences, created from a single soul. What does that mean? He created you all from a single person, then created of a like nature his mate, and so on. And let me go to the third one. It's he who created you from a single person. Again and again, the Qur'an speaks about the single soul. It's not really person, it's nafs. It's a single soul of which we're all created. When the Qur'an repeats an idea again and again and again, it's because it's very important. It's a fundamental idea that it needs to be pounded into our heads, right? We're all created of the same nafs. So we have an equality in creation. We're all created of the same nafs. We might look different. We might have certain characteristics about us that differentiate us from others, but God says you're all created of the same nafs. In fact, I will now show you a verse that you all know, I'm sure, and celebrate. It's a very famous verse. It says, "O humankind, we created you from a single pair of male and female and made you into nations and tribes, that you may know each other," i.e. not to despise each other, and so on. I'll come to the second part in a minute. But God is telling the humankind, ayyuhan nas. If you look at the translation, it would say, "O mankind," or "O men." Wrong. It says, "Ya ayyuhan nas." The Quran is addressed to all of us in these verses. "Oh, ya ayyuhan nas, we created you of male and female, and made you into nations and tribes to get to know each other, to communicate with each other." That's what you're doing here. Ta'aruf. Getting to know each other, communicating with each other and with others. That's the intention of us being so different. Because why? Because diversity or difference, variety, is the spice of life. I mean, imagine if I woke up early this morning, put my clothes on, came enthusiastically here to talk to you and looked at you and you all looked like me. What a shock. How boring, right? You're different, and you have to celebrate your differences. This is the Qur'an 1500 years ago talking about diversity, which now in the United States we are talking about, right? Now we're talking about it, but in the Qur'an it's addressed 1500 years ago. Now, it does say in the Qur'an and other places that some of us are, we are created in, we are in different categories or tabaqat, darajat, different steps above each other. And I will talk about that because you see, if you don't understand the context, you'll misunderstand the specific. But let's focus on the context now. The context, it says, look, we created you into nations and tribes, and elsewhere it says different tongues, different colors. That is an intentional thing, that God created you that way, so that you get to communicate with each other. But still, I mean, I am bound by the Qur'an, I study the Qur'an, but once in a while, I have to ask myself the question, yeah, we're all different, but who is the best? Who is the best amongst us? Well, the verse goes on to say that the most righteous of you is the one who's most honored in the sight of God, right? So it's not the wealthiest, it's not the most active male, it's not the prettiest, it is the most righteous, right? And that's why I tell you today that I'm the best amongst you, right? You're gonna talk? I'm the most righteous.
Why?
What do you mean why? I'm sitting here lecturing on the Qur'an and you're listening and taking notes. Isn't that proof enough?
No.
Why not?
Only God knows.
Allah,
His
that
highest
is you.
is righteous and not.
Only God knows? You're sure about that?
Yeah.
Because as Dean Davis told you, that there are many things we believe in that are not right. And we need to be correcting ourselves all the time. Not only that, but if I stand here before you and say, I'm the best amongst you because I'm the most righteous, what does that tell you? Just think about Dean Davis's lecture. What does that tell you? If I stand here and I say, I'm the most righteous, I'm the best.
What about humility?
Where is the humility of the righteous person, right? If you're really righteous, you will be humble. You will not announce this about yourself. Even if others tell you you are, you say, no, God knows best, leave me alone. I don't want to get a big head, right? Okay, so we understand this notion of basic equality among all humans and the diversity which is there for what? So that we get to know each other and establish community. Okay. Well, that's the ideal picture. That's the prophetic or Quranic logic of how human beings should deal with each other, right? But now I want to turn to another picture, another way of dealing with each other. Not the Quranic way, the Iblisi way, the satanic way. And it is also mentioned in the Quran. And I want to go through that story with you because you can learn a lot from it. Okay, and here, God told to the God created Adam, right? And sold Adam. And then he brought the angels and Iblis being Satan. And he said to the people, and he said to the angels and Iblis, bow to Adam, right? Bow to Adam. They did. But not Iblis. Iblis was not humble. He did not practice humility. He was arrogant. And therefore he was one, it says rejected the faith, but really what it says here, kafirin. He was not a believer. Because what is the problem? What is the problem with Iblis saying, I don't want to bow to Adam? Why is he, where's the arrogance?
He's better than Adam. So
Yeah?
he doesn't know.
How do we know that? Maybe, see, for example, one of the my professors at the American University of Beirut wrote a book, and he said, no, Iblis is better than the angels, because Iblis refused to bow to anybody but God. Is that true? No, because the Quran tells us. Why? What's the problem, right? That's why I'm telling you, you cannot take a verse out and not look at the rest. Otherwise, you'd come up with all sorts of stories that are not accurate. Here, God asked Iblis, what prevented you from bowing down when I had ordered you to do so? I commanded you. Okay. First, I'm going to divide these as we go along. Why is God asking Iblis the question? Doesn't God know? Isn't God all-knowing? Why? Why do we have this question? So that we hear the answer, okay? And by the way, in parts that I did not put in my PowerPoint, God also talks to the angels, because the angels tell God, why are you creating somebody who's going to spill blood on this earth? When we worship you all the time, we're good. Why do you need to create human beings? And God answers them. He says, I know what you do not know. What does that mean? It means there is hope for human beings. That maybe we would spill blood initially, but maybe, finally, we'll understand how to live in harmony with each other, right? God knows what we don't know. There is hope for humanity. Not only humanity as a whole, but each one of us could develop in that direction. But the reason I mentioned the dialogue with the angels is, again, why is God talking to the angels? Part of it to show that God discusses, dialogue. There is no tyranny in heaven, right? There's free speech.